Welcome back to the Tiny Chair Talk. It is 2026 and I have so much that I want to do this year, and I don't know if you do, but if you do, my first word to you today is to start what you actually plan to do. Today on the talk, we have something very important to talk about. It's something that we talk about a lot personally and within our communities and societies, but I think it's something that we don't emphasize enough as individuals, and that is the concept of no, the word no. Two letters, very little word, very big impact. What is no? No is a word. It's made up of two letters, N and O. We say it in many ways. We say no. We say no. We say no. We say no. 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 It's a very common word. We've used it from the time when we were little up to this point. My brother's second word, I believe, was no. And it was very frustrating to try and guess what he was trying to say, because even when he did want something, the word he knew was no. His first word was hi, so it wasn't any better. So you have to guess he's actually saying no, or if he's saying yes, but using the word no to say it. So the concept of no is not foreign to us in any way, but it is something that we do need to think about in each and every part of our lives when we want to make decisions for ourselves and for other people. The two letters N and O, very complete sentences. It respects boundaries, it respects choices, it respects limits. That is what no does for us. If you're not using the word no, I don't know. I really don't. I think it's something that we use consciously and subconsciously. Like sometimes we say these no's in our minds and then we don't say them out loud, which is, it's not any better, truth be told, because you should honestly say what is on your mind. No is self-preservation, it is self-awareness, it is putting me first. I'm not saying you shouldn't help other people, but if you can't offer the help, a no is more than enough of a reason to give. If you want to go the extra mile and say no, I do not have the time for that, that's great. That's honestly great. Giving a reason is a good thing, but it's not every question or every line of thought that deserves a reason. You should be able to discern which does and which does not, and situations that you find yourself in and what you should say in those situations. So no is a very big concept. The concept of no is a very big thing. We can't run through every single thing, but I do have some key points here that I think we should talk about, or I know we should talk about. I should stop using the word think. That's a no word. So I know we should talk about. The first things first. Why don't people believe us or don't believe you when you say no? First things first, you may have said yes way too many times in the past, and that's fine. But now you're learning how to create boundaries and you're testing waters. It's fine to say no. I used to say yes before. I'm a very big people pleaser. Not so much now than then, but then I could say yes, I could help you. When I was in school, I helped my mates copy their notes and mine will be incomplete. Yes, it's a thing. It is a thing. I would walk with you to the other end of the school, knowing I have something to do on my table. And my justification was, you're my friend. Why won't I do this for my friend? But I had other things to do. I could have said no. I really could have, but I chose not to. And it did put me behind some places. So you have said yes way too many times in the past. It's fine. It's time to start building your boundaries. Another reason why you could find problem with people believing you when you say no is you soften your no. No is a word. It's as powerful as the word must, and must is a very powerful word. Must means it shall be done. So when you say no, you got to say with conviction, with energy, put some bounce into it, you know. I'm African, Nigerian, so when we say some things, we put energy, and that set of energy is what you're meant to put into your no. You don't go no, no, stop it. You go no. You say it once. You say clear, clean, precise. Make your language concise. Make it audible. No, I don't want to. No, I am not going to do that. No, I'm not going to give you that. People will find that uncomfortable, and that is fine. People change when they notice that you're starting to change, you know. That's another thing. When you start telling people no more, they're like, you're changing. Yes, you are. You are changing. You're setting boundaries. You're growing up. You're becoming a better you. So change. Be you. Another reason why people may not believe you when you say no is because they know that if they push you hard enough, you will say yes. So you've got to stand your ground. You have to give your no with conviction, like a boxer, box it in. Say, no, I don't want to do this. I'm not doing that for you. Nobody's gonna beat you. Like, nobody is gonna beat you. Well, why are they beating you? You're at the age of whatever age you are. You're old enough to make decisions for yourself. Once you're the age of 12, you should start making decisions for yourself. You can't make all decisions for yourself, but there are little things you can make for yourself. You can decide today, I am not going to do this. And when somebody can be like, no, not today. Come back next week. It's as simple as that. Is no a negative word? No, it is not. See how I said my no there? Very clean, very precise, concise. No is not a negative word. It's a very positive word. No prevents you from spending unnecessary time, unnecessary energy, unnecessary money, unnecessary resources for things that you do not want to spend them on. So it is a positive word. It is not a negative word. The word no, it's seen as wrong, while y is seen as right in some societies, and I don't think that's right as the English language intended to use the word. No is a negative. I tell you no, not because you don't mean something to me, but it's a commitment that I just cannot make now. And I need you to understand that, which is why I'm saying the word no. It's as simple as that. You're not the only thing important today. I have other things I want to do. So I need you to be fine with the ideology or with the facts that I am saying no. And that should be good enough for you, It should. How do we say no? Because it's the concept of no. So how do we say no? We say it once. No, I do not want to give you my biscuits. And you walk away. Another way to say no is simply by not giving excess justifications. Don't say, no, I don't want to because blah 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 and blah 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 blah, and then I also have to blah 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 blah. You're explaining and you're just giving them more reasons or more ways to convince you to say yes. So don't give excess justification. It's not needed. It is not in any way. The concept of no is simple. No means I'm saving things for myself. It's a positive word. And as people, we should learn to receive the word no with grace. I do have to say, because some of us, we hear the word no and we're like, oh, this person hates me, this person doesn't like me, that's not it. That's not it. People say no for themselves. They say no for a lot of reasons. When you begin to think that you're the only person that no is said to in the world, that's where your problems begin. Because I assure you that every single person in this world has heard the word no before. I have heard more no's than yeses in my life. When I was applying to jobs, I got to know every single time. And I could think, oh, I'm the only person they're saying no to. But I just told myself that I am one in 1,000 people that have gotten no, and this will be the end of the world. So take no with grace. When somebody tells you no, re-strategize, redirect, reanalyze. There's something you're missing, so find it out and figure it out and get your yes. A yes doesn't necessarily mean you have to convince the person to tell you yes. A yes means you found another alternative, you found another method. It's as simple as that. No is a positive word for both parties. On one party, it means saving time, energy, resources, so it's self-preservation. For the other party, it's redirection. Something I would like to add a note on, and in this, the concept of no is people pleasing, because so many of us are people pleasers. I'm a very good example of that. But yes, so many of us are people pleasers. And why we people pleasers? One could look at us with good eyes in quotes. We want them to look at us as dependable, capable, achieving. We want approval from people. We're scared of rejection. that is a very major one. We are scared of rejection. It's one of the biggest reasons for people pleasing, because you believe if I've done it for you, you would do it for me, and that's not just how the world works. It says that nobody owes you anything. So people pleasing, it isn't the best way to go in life. At some point you will get tired. I have to tell you, you will get tired of people pleasing. So do not be a people pleaser. When you begin to say no, you will feel like you are a very selfish person. I felt I was a very selfish person when I began to say no. I even began to avoid some people because I just didn't want to say no to them. So I did fall on both sides of the spectrum, really. But today I have realized that no is for me. It is peace. When I tell somebody, no, I do not want to give you my number, I say with all the goodness of my heart, because I'm not going to use your number for anything. I'm not going to call you. I'm not going to pick up your calls. I'm not going to text you. I'm not going to reply to your messages. My no is a no. I don't want to. And that should be a good enough reason for you as an individual. Finally, before I go, I just wanted to give a little point on self-preservation and saying no. Saying no is a very big form of self-preservation, and you really do have to preserve yourself. You can't burn out your energy on other people while your work is still lying in wait for you. Saying no does a lot mentally. I'm not saying be rude. I'm not saying don't help people. I'm saying know when to say yes and know when to say no. That is my biggest take from this. Know when to say yes and know when to say no. That is my message for you today. Because you as an individual, you have the same amount of hours in the day as every other person on this earth. Your energy levels may differ, but time doesn't. And when you spend all your time doing work for other people that you do not want to do, or when you spend all your time on working on other things that you do not want to work on, you're going to realize very quickly that time runs faster than you do, and it's not a good place to be. So preserve yourself, preserve your time, preserve your energy, and put them to work for you. Honor yourself. Pay, in finance there's this term, pay yourself first. It's very important. I like to say, be positive when saying your no's. If you find it difficult to say no's, remind yourself why you're saying them. Remind yourself of the reasons you're saying them. You're saying them because you have other things that you want to work on. You're saying them because you need the energy to work on some other things. You're saying yes to yourself, which is very important. You're saying no because you cannot commit to them. You're not comfortable with them, or you simply do not have to give to them. And that is all that I have for you today. And I'll see you next week on the Tiny Chair Talk.